Greetings YouTube. Today we're looking at a free tiger knife, the model F902. Did I get that one right? 1 second. Nope, sorry. FT902. My apologies. This particular knife doesn't have a number on it, so I have the actual number up on my screen so I can tell you what the heck this thing is. So this is the FT902, and what attracted me to this knife was, well, I liked the lines initially. You know, out of the gate, I liked the holes in here, the nice groove and everything, but this clip just fascinated me. So I looked at it, I'm like, well, I've never seen a clip like that. And I've seen a lot of pocket clips in my day, but this was interesting because it has this protrusion. This is not a movable sphere. This is a stationary sphere. It's part of the clip itself, but it's still very cool in appearance, and it's a deep pocket carry, and it seems to actually have flat enough fasteners that it is an actual deep pocket carry, and it does operate as such, which is a nice touch. And this thing just slides really smoothly on the pocket of a pair of jeans, which is what I was testing this on at work. And it's also I find it very attractive. I like the overall aesthetic, the angles and the necking in here. I really like the way that look. Overall, it's a very clean appearance. You have a nice fit and finish all the way around. You have some solid centering. It's not quite perfect, but it's very close to perfect, and this is not an expensive knife. I liked this particular model in the Tactical Black. I believe it's also available in a couple of other colors, but I just thought this particular knife looked best in this color for this style. So let's pop this puppy open. And there we go. Nice, smooth action, and it is, in fact, a Tanto blade. And the angle... the grinds on this are somewhat complex for a budget knife. You've got this nice swedge in here. We have a flat here. We have, of course, the main angle here, secondary angle, and this angle grind line is very even. I was impressed by the fact that it was so well executed. I also found it interesting that the lines here are vertical, so I kind of almost expect a line to go this way on a grind like this, but no, it's all these are parallel. With the grind lines are parallel, which I thought was interesting. It came out of the box with a reasonably sharp edge. Nothing to write home about, but still very well executed. I liked a little hole here in the flipper, which also acts as your finger guard. It does nothing, but it does lighten up the visual look of the knife, and I just find it visually entertaining to have that kind of a feature. Now, this knife has done something I have never seen before. And this is the interesting thing. Now, if you look, it's going to be really hard to see here, but these two liners are identical. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that they were stamped out of a strip of metal in exactly the same way, and then they received separate additional machining steps. So this static liner got a cutout here so you can access the liner lock more efficiently. Okay, but there is a groove in it that could be used to make it into the actual liner lock scale. And of course, the liner lock scale has this relief cut in here so that it actually will flex for you. And both of them have holes stamped in them for threads. This side has threaded holes because that's where the fasteners go, and this side does not. And it seems to me to be a crying shame why you didn't just make the same thing on this, because then you would have made the knife more useful, because you would have been able to move the clip from side to side. Now, admittedly, I mean, it does make it a little cleaner because you don't have two empty holes here. But this was so close to being an ambidextrous pocket carry, which just seems, if you're going to go to the effort of using the same darn liner plates, yeah, why not? But yeah, I've never seen that, and it makes perfect sense. This is very efficient because it has no impact, that groove existing and those two holes existing on this static liner here has no impact on the operation of the knife. It makes it a little lighter. but it also saves you because you're not making two different liners. You're just machining them slightly differently. Absolutely wonderful. They also put a little bevel here on the actual liner lock itself, which makes it very comfortable to unlock. You have a nice solid lockup, about 50%, no motion in any direction. You have an open build, nice little machined standoff there. It's very minimalist in appearance, and it gives it a very light vibe. I really like these scales, not just because they look cool, but when you're holding it, let me show you what I mean. When you're holding it to launch it, this scale gives your thumb a place to sit and resistance against the spring, because your thumb is on a ramp. So it's a very positive lock. Now you're thinking, well, your fingers are on the pocket clip, and you are correct. My fingers are on the pocket clip. However, if I switch hands, so now I'm doing a southpaw, where that pocket clip is now doing nothing, my fingers are still on that little ramp. It is still very secure, very comfortable. I don't know if that was an intentional ergonomic choice on their part, but it makes the knife very secure and a very easy, smooth launch. And yes, I can open and close this with my left hand, so if you are left-handed, it'll be nothing at all for you to do that. I am not left-handed, but I always play with knives in both hands to see how well they do open for southpaws. So I was just very impressed with this. The pocket clip's what pulled me in. Then I found the really innovative, interesting thing about the liners. I'm like, why aren't more people doing this? Because so many knives could benefit from that. It's less die making, and die making is expensive. Making dies to stamp out metal is costly. If you can make one die that makes both of your scales, and then you only do a little bit of machining, like there's little bevels here, so your finger has a place to go when you're launching it. Yeah, they're mirrored with each other, but they started out the same. So you're only doing a slight amount of additional machining to make them different. But they're starting out identical, and that makes perfect sense. It is one of the most brilliantly efficient things I have ever seen in a knife design, ever, period, in a folding knife. This is just elegant. I applaud the people that were involved with this design, and I am just stunned that I have never, in all my years of buying and looking at knives and carrying knives, I have never encountered it before. I'm just like, wow, that's weird that I've never found that before. And here it is. I never even thought of it, which is kind of depressing when you think about it, because I have been thinking about knives for my entire darn life, more than 40 years. But yep, there you go. First time I've ever encountered identical scales that were then machined to make them different. Elegant, brilliant, and just a great budget knife. And again, these are not expensive. The free Tiger line is very well priced. So definitely check this stuff out. This is just really nice quality materials, and well executed, well designed, and I applaud their ingenuity.